Hey guys, my name is Dr. Rob Kelly. Welcome to the Dopamine Hour on our second week this week, guys. Hope you had a fantastic weekend. It's going to be an amazing week. It's going to be cold in San Antonio, Texas. Would you believe it may get down to about 85? I'm just joking. It was 32 this morning. Thought I was back in Manchester again for a second. We have last week an amazing guest came on, and we've got even a better guest, I think, in this area. Probably one of the best in his industry. Dr. Jeff Armstrong will be on, giving you his knowledge about health and exercise and stuff like that. Such an educated guy, but such a great guy. I was on his podcast a couple of weeks ago, and as soon as I hear him talk, it's like, oh my goodness, my viewers and listeners have to have a piece of this. Let's see what's happening this week, guys. Not much. Restaurant going good. If you're ever over this way, the Old English Tea Shop is where we are. Come and see us. Come and say hi or buy you coffee or something. Don't forget the Rob Kelly Foundation, bottom of your screen.org is the foundation non-profit. If you want to come on and give us $1, if you can't afford $1, guys, call me. I might give you $1. You never know. Jump onto TikTok. There's all the addiction doctor. Get on there and say hi to us, guys, and obviously the Facebook page. If you want to jump on there and just say hello or something like that, that would be freaking awesome, guys. I think that's about it for my week. It's been pretty boring, to be honest with you, but we're going to set it off now. We're going to change the world in the next 20 minutes, guys, as you know. But first of all, let me introduce you real quick to 9D breathwork therapy. We've just become licensed to take up that over in Texas, and it's going to be awesome. And for those who don't know what it is, I'm going to give you a brief intro now. When I come back off that intro, Dr. Jeff will be here, and you've got to remember that the 9D we do online, or you can do it in sessions with one of our 5 offices around the world. But right now, this is what it's about.
Feeling overwhelmed? Discover the healing power of 9D breathwork and find your peace. 9D breathwork is a revolutionary practice designed to help you heal from trauma. It's about harnessing the power of your breath to release emotional pain and find inner peace. Imagine taking a deep breath and feeling the weight lift off your shoulders. With 9D breathwork, you can experience profound transformations in your mental health. This technique combines rhythmic breathing, guided visualization, and sound therapy to create a holistic healing experience. It's simple, yet powerful. Studies show that controlled breathing can reduce stress, anxiety, and even symptoms of PTSD. By integrating 9D breathwork into your routine, you're taking a proactive step toward reclaiming your life from trauma. So why not give it a try? Unleash the power of your breath and start your journey to a healthier, happier you. Take a deep breath and let 9D breathwork guide you to a brighter future. Transform your life, one breath at a time.
Hey guys, this is the Dopamine Hour. My name is Dr. Rob Kelly, and live on the show today is Dr. Jeff Armstrong. Dr. Jeff, how are we doing, guys?
I'm doing great. I took some deep breaths as I was listening to your intro, and I'm ready to go.
It's that 9D stuff is crazy. When I first heard it some months ago, it just came out, and now we're part of it, which is awesome. But yeah, it's transforming so many lives. But we've also doing some early research in not only addiction and depression and PTSD, but early onset dementia and Alzheimer's is what we're testing right now with this new software. So unbelievable. It's going to be amazing. So Doc, tell me, tell the audience who you are and what you're about.
Well, my name is Jeff Armstrong. I'm currently living outside of Portland, Oregon, but I teach at Western Oregon University. So I have a little bit of a commute off today, which is kind of nice to take Martin Luther King Day off. But I teach in exercise science, and my PhD is exercise physiology. I teach a range of courses from physiology of exercise to pathophysiology and exercise to more the performance end with advanced programming for sport and fitness. So I kind of run the spectrum of exercise physiology.
I love that. I love that. I know the latest thing we found out, obviously, is the food is killing us. The pharmaceutical companies are keeping us sick. And most of all, most people sit down, a lot longer than they should. I know Brecker says this a lot. He's a good friend of mine. He said, human beings are not meant to sit down. And I so much agree with him. If you go back to before the gaming and the phones and everything, most people are outside. No kids were outside most of the day. And then when the light went on at nighttime, you came in. But now we get in the car, we go to office, we sit down, we go back in the car, we sit down, we go home, we sit down. it's crazy. We get home tired. So when it comes to the exercise and then keeping our body moving, what are we doing wrong, Doc?
I'd say what we're doing wrong is we're not moving. It's simple as that. It's just we are sitting on our behinds way too much. I do think that probably one of the things that we are probably doing most wrong when it comes to exercise is that we are not doing enough resistance training. I think I grew out of a period of exercise physiology where it was cardio, 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 and we were focused on high carbohydrate, low fat diets. And I think we got a lot of things wrong. And in emphasizing cardio too much and neglecting strength training, we've weakened our muscles, and you can't do as much if you're not as strong. And so you get weaker and weaker, and you do less and less cardio, and we get sicker and sicker as we age.
So for somebody who is new to all this and wants to change their life, explain strength training.
Well, I mean, it's simply just any kind of resistance training, anything that is going to put force against the muscle, resistance against the muscle is really considered resistance training. I joke with my students, I always ask them, when's the best time to start resistance training? And they start throwing ages out at me and, teen years, college years, all that kind of stuff. And I said, no, it's as soon as you pop out of the womb, you start resistance training. Because you think about a baby is born, you put your hands against the feet of a baby, what are they going to do? They're going to start pushing their feet against your hands. And that's resistance training. And if we start that young and get kids used to, using their muscles, they develop their bones, they develop their muscles, they develop the neural pathways. I mean, it's nothing but good stuff for a kid if they're moving and, using those muscles. And then as we age, we can begin to, become a little bit more specialized in the resistance training. And so that might involve weight training. It might involve just using bands, body weight type of exercise, different forms of yoga. I mean, there's a lot of things that we can do to use and to strengthen those muscles so that we can prevent sarcopenia as we age.
How did you get into this area of science? I would love to know that.
I guess it really started in high school. I was interested in resistance training as a high school athlete. I grew up in the Nautilus era, Art Jones and, the high intensity training. And I worked for a couple years as kind of just a part-time trainer for Steel City Nautilus in Pittsburgh. And the owner of the gym was this guy, Biz Stark, incredible guy, knew so much about resistance training, worked at that time with like the Pit Panthers, and, just was ahead of his time when it came to understanding the role of strength training in performance. And so that was always kind of in the back of my head. And I never saw it as a career. I didn't know about exercise physiology in the late 70s, early 80s. And it wasn't until I was starting to wrap up my geology degree at West Virginia University that we did our field camp at just kind of this area down in kind of Bluefield, West Virginia, in the Greenbrier Mountains. Just a beautiful area if you've ever been there. I mean, we'd fill up our canteens out of this pipe that just came out of the limestone in the morning, and just the freshest water you can imagine. But as I was going through that course, I was like, this is not what I want to do with my life. And I was talking with one of the gals in the class, one of the few girls in the class, but just talking about wanting to own a gym someday and some of those types of things. And she was like, you should consider the exercise physiology degree. They have a master's program. I'm sure you can get into it with the geology degree. Her roommate, who I ended up going to my master's program with, was a biology major. And she's like, she's able to get into the program. And I said, okay, I'm going to look into this. And started looking in exercise physiology and said, wow, this is what I want to do. And so did my master's, worked in corporate fitness, personal training, kind of all aspects of fitness. And it just kind of progressively gotten more and more toward the academic side of it and wanting to do that. Owned a sports performance training center, done a little bit of everything when it comes to exercise science. And I think I just kind of evolved into it.
What do you get out of this? I mean, I know you have to earn a living and stuff, but besides money, what do you get out of this personally for yourself?
Well, it's not the money. I'm an academic, so I could tell you it's not definitely the money. But I think for me, there's two aspects of it. I mean, just educating people in terms of fitness. I feel kind of a greater sense of purpose. I feel like I'm hopefully kind of improving the health of, this country and even globally, as we reach out through the podcast and whatnot. So I think it's an opportunity to help people to live better lives. From the educating standpoint, I feel like I have the opportunity to change healthcare in a lot of ways. Educate my students from a viewpoint of everything is biomechanical, psychosocial. That we're changing lives not only biologically or by changing their mechanics, but also by changing their mental health, their social interactions. I find that my teaching has gravitated a lot more toward a sort of spiritual twist to the exercise physiology and learning that, there's that spiritual physical connection that is important to our overall well-being. And so I don't know. I don't know what I really get out of it. Probably get out a lot more than I think I do. But for me, it's probably a lot more of the just psychological, sociological, spiritual benefits that I get from it.
Tell me some of the myths around exercise that we have in this country.
Well, probably one big one is that we have to change it as we get older. That you hit a certain age, suddenly the exercises or the type of exercise that you do has to change. And I think that's total BS. I think it's very individualized. Everybody's different. There are 20-year-olds that can't do stuff that many 60, 70-year-olds are doing. I think that's one of the big myths. I think another is that we have to spend hours at the gym as opposed to just getting that dose of stimulus and recovering from it. And I think that's probably one of the biggest areas. I think another one is that healthy nutrition is expensive and difficult. And as I mentioned earlier, probably another big myth is that cardiovascular exercise is the most important. And I think it's important, but I think resistance training, strength training, maintaining muscle mass has been undervalued for many years.
Yeah, definitely. And what about you? What about the clients that you have? What do they range from? I know you do performance, but what kind of clients would come to you?
Well, I mean, since I've been in academics, I haven't had, quite the level of kind of, like clientele coming to me anymore. When we had the sports performance training center, that was much more high school, early college athletes. We had a few kind of post-college athletes. When I worked in corporate fitness, it ran the gamut. One company that I worked for was in Manhattan, and it was kind of a multi-corporation corporate fitness facility. We had everybody from people that worked for record companies. And one guy came in one day and just talking about how it was going to be a rough workout because he was out late that morning with In Excess, the band.
Oh, yeah.
We were in Rockefeller Center, and David Rockefeller was one of the people that came in, so one of the wealthiest men in the world was coming into the gym, and we had everything kind of in between. And I worked in corporate fitness in Pittsburgh at Westinghouse. And so we had kind of the gamut of their professionals. And then in personal training, I had everything from, a lot of women kind of where I worked at, anywhere from probably their 30s up to much later, kind of into their 70s. I think the oldest client I worked with was an 84-year-old gentleman who came to me. He had read that at the time there was this tough study that had looked at the benefits of resistance training in seniors in nursing homes and how they were able to dramatically decrease their dependence upon walking devices, canes and walkers and everything. And so he had determined he wanted to get rid of his cane. And so he gifted himself with a personal trainer for his 84th birthday. And I worked with him for several months and got him to where he was walking a little bit faster and not having to use the cane quite as much. He still carried it, but I think he had dramatically reduced his dependence upon it. So kind of the whole gamut. But lately, the last 25 years has been primarily academic. And so I'm working with students who will go on to become anything from personal trainers, strength and conditioning, or sports coaches, to some doctors, a lot of PAs, a lot of PTs, and occupational therapists. So kind of that whole gamut.
I love it. Absolutely love it. Okay, quick fire questions. You ready?
Okay.
Favorite color?
Oh boy, I don't have favorites. It's weird. I mean, my daughter asks me all this kind of stuff, favorite music, all that kind of stuff. I don't have favorites, but I'd probably say lean toward blue or green.
Blue or green? Okay.
Yeah.
If there's an actor that you'd like to work with, who would that be?
An actor? Wow. That's a tough one.
Yeah.
Only name that's coming to me is not an actor, but I mentioned it on a recent episode that I would love to interview Ozzy Osbourne, because I think he's like a hugely spiritual person that people just don't recognize that.
Yeah.
But actor-wise, I don't know. Another one that came up recently is Matthew McConaughey. So I'll have to say Matthew
Yeah.
McConaughey.
Beautiful, beautiful. And what do you like to eat? What's kind of one of your favorite meals?
Probably I'm a Pittsburgher. So I'm going to say probably one of the things that I long for the most that I don't get very often, and it's probably not the healthiest, so I don't recommend eating it a lot, is a Permane cheesesteak sandwich.
There you go.
You ever been to Permane's? It's like two thick slices of Italian bread, hamburger patty, provolone cheese, coleslaw, tomatoes, and French fries on the sandwich.
I'm hungry now.
I am too.
Do you have a dream car?
What's that?
Do you have a dream car?
Not really. I'm pretty practical when it comes to cars. And right now I drive a Ford Bronco Sport, and I love that car. It fits me perfectly. I'd maybe like to put a few more features on it, but other than that, I don't really have a dream car.
What about, who would you like to be for a day?
Yeah, you know what? I never think about it. I'd rather just be me, be a better me.
Yeah. I love that. I love that. Any advice to the viewers about going forward from today? I know the New Year's resolution started already, but any advice on anybody that wants to kind of look after themselves a little bit more than they are? Not crazy, but just a little bit more. What would you say to them?
I'd say baby steps. Pick one thing today to work on, be your best today, and be better tomorrow. So just, one step at a time, small little changes. I mean, if you think of nutrition, if I'm trying to lose weight, if I just say I drink 2 sugared pops a day, if I cut one of those out, that's about 18 pounds of body fat you can lose in the year just by doing that. There's no effort involved there.
Yeah.
So just little things.
That's what I said when I'd lost 150 something pounds, and oh my God, it must have been so hard. Oh my God, it really wasn't, I used to get looking at the food I'm eating, checking the ingredients, and making sure I exercise at least 20 to 30 minutes every day, whether that be walking around the block with the dog or getting to the gym. And then I don't like going to the gym, but I always say to myself, just go where the one exercise, come home. And when I get there, I always do a little bit more, which is absolutely amazing. Yeah. Do you like animals, Jeff?
Yeah, I'm a dog guy. We have 2 dogs right now. We have a yellow lab and a red border collie. And I've never been a cat person, but we've had 3 straight cats. My daughter basically has had those that have been just phenomenal cats. So they're starting to change my mind a little bit, but I've had some real shit cats that no. So mostly dogs.
I love it. Where can we find you, Dr. Jeff? Where can people find you if you want to come and check you out?
Well, I really don't have a web page per se, but you can always email me at the web page. Basically, the email for the Aging Well podcast is probably the best one. It's just agingwell.podcast@gmail.com.
Brilliant. Thank you so much, man, for coming on. Guys, I hope you've enjoyed that. Dr. Jeff coming on and laying down some serious information about exercise and well-being, because we all need to get back into that routine of exercise. It makes you feel so much better. I go out sometimes and look at people my age and go, oh my goodness, do I look that age? And even 60-year-olds, 61-year-olds, I'm like, oh. So yeah, get out there, get it done, and go and see Dr. Jeff if you wish. and see what he's up to. But for now, Dr. Jeff, thank you so much for being on my podcast, my man.
Thanks for having me. It was a pleasure. Looking forward to having you back on one of my podcasts.
Excellent. Thank you, man.
All right. Have a great day.
You need to hear this if you're a podcast lover, craving more happiness and growth. On the Dopamine Hour, Dr. Rob Kelly dives into the secrets of happiness, mental health, and personal growth. Want to learn how to rewire your brain for joy? Or maybe you're curious about mastering your mental health? Dr. Kelly's got you covered with expert advice and real-life stories that hit home. Whether you're looking to elevate your daily life or seeking deeper personal insights, this podcast is your go-to guide. Tune into the Dopamine Hour and join a community focused on living their best lives. Subscribe now and start your journey to a happier, healthier you with Dr. Rob Kelly. Trust me, you don't want to miss this.
You don't want to miss this, guys. You heard what he said. Fantastic. Great 20 minutes there with Dr. Jeff Armstrong. Go and check him out, guys. Aging Well Podcast. It's aging.podcast@gmail.com if you want to email him or come through me. I'll give you all his information, of course. For now, guys, thank you for joining us again. We'll see you every Monday with a brand new guest. And if you need anything, come and message me. If you need a book and can't afford it, Daddy, please stop drinking. We'll pay shipping. I'll give it you free of charge. I'll sign it. Do whatever you want on one condition. You give it to somebody else who you think may need it. For now, guys, be kind to each other, compliment 3 people. And of course, the most important thing in the world is stop giving a shit what people think about you. Bye, guys.